welcome to Educator L's Learning Lounge. My name is Lynn. I'm a special education teacher in a rural town in Missouri. I teach 3rd and 4th graders this year, and today is actually the holiday weekend. If you watched my videos from last week, you will see that my husband has been in the hospital, and so it made for an interesting week for our family. He has 3 kids. I have 1, so together blended we have 4 kids all together. And so it was a interesting week because it was the first week I got to be mom all by myself for 4 kids. So that was very interesting, and we handled it. The kids are great. The boys are teenagers, so they helped out a whole lot. It was great that they were able to kind of do things. Not only are they self-sufficient, but they helped out, so that was really wonderful. So really it was just the girls, and honestly we were running and going so much. It was literally get up in the morning, go to school, come home, do what we needed to do, and go to bed. That's pretty much how our weeks look like right now. I have one of my sons is in football, one of them is in band. So if we're not running one, we're running the other, or we're running them both. So there were days where it was I would pick one up at 6 and the other one had to be at school at 6. So it was nice because they transitioned at the same time. So same building, everything, so not too bad. Of course, one got picked up over at the field. The other one gets dropped off over by the band entrance. But again, it was fine. It was no big deal. So we, but of course we had to mix in there coming down here to see my husband because of the fact that he had just had surgery last Monday. So it's been a week since his surgery now. He is doing better and his hand is healing. We had Friday, he went home around like noon, and around about 3 o'clock I had to call an ambulance because he was having an allergic reaction to the antibiotics that he was on. So he was hallucinating. He had started to get a rash the first day that they did it, and he kept complaining, I feel hot, and this rash. They're like, it's okay, you're fine, nothing. Well, it was something, because then he started hallucinating. So I called the at-home nurse, the home health nurse who helped me set up he was supposed to be on 24-hour antibiotics. And she said, unplug him immediately. And when I told her that he was hallucinating, she said, you need to get back to the hospital. So I said, call 911, need to get back to the hospital, or I can drive him. And she said, well, that's up to you. She said, but I can't legally tell you not to call 911. I said, okay, gotcha. So I called 911. Very glad I did. Very glad we did what we did, because he did end up coming back up, and within the next 3 hours he was doing so much better, just being off of those antibiotics, because again, they were going through his body 24 hours a day, so he was not without it, so there was no relief, and he was having an allergic reaction. So they took care of him. We did have to stay in the hospital. So again, this was Friday. So Saturday. Is that right? Yes. It was Friday night. So Saturday they kept him Friday to Saturday, and then I stayed up here at the hospital, and I went ahead and spent the night with him. No, this all happened Saturday. So we went home Saturday. That's what it was. Because Friday after school, I came up. He was today is, of course, a holiday. So even though we should have been able to go home today, they said that because of the fact that it was a holiday, they couldn't get the medicine he needs for home to us until tomorrow. Whatever. So we talked to the infectious disease guy through a teleconference. It's really cool. They have it set up where they just do it right there in the room. It's all really cool. So we did that, and the reason he had to do infectious disease, the thing that was wrong with his hand, again, if you didn't watch last week, he does have a staph infection. It's not MRSA, it's MSSA, so it's not as bad as MRSA. So it's not contagious. So again, I was up there with him the whole time. Family's been coming up, friends coming up. So we did get to see him. So that's really good, because that would have really drove him nuts. It would have drove me nuts. So he is getting very cabin feverish because he is ready to be out. And it was so sweet on Saturday when we were home. That man is used to being outside, and he sat outside for so long. I even got to the point, and he told me, he said, don't you even come out here with that sunscreen, because he just wanted to soak up the sun. He's my little sun lizard, and so he was just enjoying being outside on our swing in our back porch. And so I hated that I had to call the ambulance and make him go back, and it honestly broke my heart. I was crying just because he really did not want to go back, but that's where he needed to be. So hopefully when he comes home, this will be it. We're done with this. He does have a doctor's appointment tomorrow that he's supposed to go back and see his surgeon. Now, because he's up in the hospital, we're hoping maybe the doctor will just come over to the hospital to see him, or they'll let him out early enough that he can go, because his appointment there isn't until in the afternoon. So we'll see how that goes. But hopefully they're pleased with his with the healing of the hand already. So the wound specialist did come over today, because today was the day he was supposed to change his dressing. Well, because we left in an ambulance, I left everything at home for packing the wound, because that was the least of my worries at that moment. And as you know, if you go to the hospital anyway, they don't want you bringing your own at-home medicines or anything like that. And again, when your husband's leaving in an ambulance, the last thing you're worried about is, oh, I need to pack the gauze and all the packing stuff and the ACE bandage for this wound. So it was great that he was able to come over. He brought him some more supplies, watched him pack it, saw that he was still doing it right, and that everything looked good. So that was nice to have the wound specialist actually be able to see it and be able to acknowledge that, yes, we're headed in the right direction. So all good stuff came out of going back to the hospital. It's just frustrating for my husband to have to be there at the hospital. So instead of being on this 24-hour period of antibiotics, it looks like the antibiotic they're giving him is once a day. So that's going to be really nice to only have to hook it up once a day instead of it being a continuous pump. And so he won't have to carry around the pump in this little fanny pack that they gave us. So it'll be nice to be able for him to be able to go and do stuff. He has to be out of work for 3 weeks until he goes back and gets reevaluated. So that stinks for him, because he enjoys being outside and being working. I just have to try to convince him not to work every second that he's home on our house, so that he really, really needs to rest. So he's not so good at the rest part of the healing and resting. So hopefully things go well for him and our week goes better. I am headed back home right now. Our son does have a football game tonight. His grandma has been watching, so my husband's mom, the kid's grandma, has been watching them all weekend long because of the fact that I was up here at the hospital with him. And so she's going to bring him back to town to go to his football, which he should be there right now. So he should be at football now. My parents are bringing my daughter back up to our place in order for her to go, but they also wanted to go to the football game. So this is my husband's first time to miss a football game of his son, and so he's really upset about it. But I told him I would just cheer extra loud for him. So we're hoping that it is live streamed. The varsity and junior varsity games are live streamed, so I'm hoping that the freshman one is live streamed, but I don't know. So if not, maybe I can video at least a little bit so that he can watch with us and just do a live with him, or to video call him during the game. I don't know. We'll see. Right now it is currently raining on me while I'm driving home, so I pray that the rain stops because I really don't want to sit there in the rain to watch a football game. And I don't know what their rules are about high school football and rain. So, yeah, gonna be a fun week. So again, 4-day week at my school, and so usually I don't share this much personal stuff on my teacher stuff, but hey, it's part of being a teacher. That's part of my life, is being a mom, being a wife, and so there it all is. So thanks so much for joining me this week. If you have any questions, comments, please let me know. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I would love to grow my following. Again, if there are ideas that you have, then let me know. And I'm still very new at this. I still am recording on my phone, obviously, and I am making the videos on my phone. So hey, if any of you big time people out there have any great resources for me on how to better my audience, you just let me know. Thanks so much for joining me. All right, so I'm going to give this Quest Overload Protein Bar Sunday Fun Day a try. It's got a little bit of sprinkles on it. Could be more, but whatever. Okay. Not bad. Sure. Okay. Seems pretty good. I give it a thumbs up. Hello, today is Wednesday. I do have a cough drop in my mouth because my throat is very sore today. My nose is all stuffy, runny. I don't know what it is, but yeah, gotta love them allergies. Yay! So, today my light is green and my shirt is green because today we are recognizing our Care to Learn. Every Wednesday we can wear jeans and a Care to Learn shirt when we participate in the Care to Learn program here at the school. And so that's really just part of the program that provides things for students such as hygiene products, clothes, and just different items that they would need. There's also all kinds of different things that the actual money can go towards. So we can give a donation out of our monthly checks. So most people in the district give $5 a month, and so they just sent out a email the other day, and it said that 77 of our employees are actually donating to Care to Learn. So that's pretty cool. That's probably a pretty good number. I honestly don't know how many staff members we have, so I could look that up and find it out. but a lot of new people did sign up for it. So, but yeah, it's a program. It seems like, I believe it's a program that like your school can do and be part of. So if that's something that you're interested in, I can hook you up with our Care to Learn team if that is something you have questions about. So today we've been working on, again, I'm special ed, so I've been trying to get just some of my data points in, kind of make sure they didn't regress from last year, because of course the end of the year is when their last data points were put in. So I just kind of am trying to see. A lot of the kids seem to have maybe regressed, because one of them, it said that he was doing pretty good on his division goal, and when I handed him the paper today, he said, "What is this?" So I don't know, we'll see. So but also on this Sunday is Grandparents' Day, but our school is celebrating it on Friday. So grandparents are coming in for breakfast. I have breakfast duty that day. My parents are going to come for my daughter. And so we're working on a cute little activity for our grandparents. And so when I told them, even if their grandparents weren't coming and they wanted to make one for them, that they could send them home, or they could send them to them when I sent them home. I told them, if you don't have any grandparents, we'll talk about another person we can write down. So far everybody has had a grandparent, thankfully. But I understand some kids might not. And of course I told them, if you have 4 or 5, 6, 10 grandparents, we'll write one for everyone that you want to write, because we don't want to leave anybody out. So I did make extra copies of the actual form itself. So